Clark, remember that girl, that superstar playing for Iowa that ended up going to the Final Four? She's got one of the hottest selling jerseys in sports, y'all, according to Fanatics, led by the one and only Michael Rubin. The deal is the richest sponsorship contract for a women's basketball player. She deserves it!
Clark is taking over women's basketball like nobody's business. She's smashing NCAA scoring records left and right, and everyone's talking about her. It's like she came out of nowhere, and suddenly, she's the hottest name in the game. You know what's even crazier? Nike just handed her a $28 million deal. That's right, $28 million. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. But here's where things get weird. Where's her signature shoe? You'd think with all that cash and hype, we'd be seeing Clark kicks everywhere. But nope, nothing. And let me tell you, there's way more to this story than just some delayed sneakers. Behind the scenes, there's a whole clash of titans going on. We're talking big-time players in the sports marketing world, and they're all scrambling to figure out what to do with Clark. It's like a game of chess, but instead of pawns and knights, we've got shoes and contracts. And the future of women's sports marketing, it's all hanging in the balance. Now imagine you're Nike. You've got the hottest rookie in years, but you're hesitating to crown her. Why? Because there's an MVP in the league who hasn't even gotten her own shoe yet. How do you play this without ruffling any feathers? It's like Nike's playing a high-stakes game of basketball chess.
Clark now has an 8-year, $28 million deal with Nike that will include her own signature shoe. Clark continues to set the bar when it comes to her impact on female athletics. Go out there, compete with her, try to bust her up if you want to, and all of that stuff. Just don't hate on the acclaim that she's getting.
On one side, you've got Clark, the rookie sensation who's lighting up the court. On the other, there's A'ja Wilson, the WNBA MVP who's been dominating the league. Both are incredible players, but only one can get their signature shoe first. Talk about a tough decision. You'd think Nike would be rushing to get Clark's shoe out there, right? I mean, they dropped $28 million on her deal. But here's the thing, they're holding back. Why? It's all about balance, folks. Launching Clark's shoe before Wilson's could cause some serious drama in the Nike family. It's like Nike's caught between a rock and a hard place. They want to capitalize on Clark's insane popularity, but they can't ignore Wilson's status as the league MVP. It's a delicate dance, and Nike's trying not to step on anyone's toes. Here's where it gets really interesting. An insider spilled the tea, saying Nike's whole approach has changed. They used to be all about making big, bold moves. Remember the just do it days? Well, now it's more like just think about it a lot. They're so focused on managing perceptions that they're playing it super safe. This cautious approach isn't just about Clark and Wilson. It's reshaping how brands deal with rising stars in women's sports. It's like everyone's watching to see how Nike handles this, and you can bet other companies are taking notes. Think about it. If Nike gets this right, they could set the standard for how to market women athletes. But if they mess it up, yikes, it could be a PR nightmare. That's why they're being so careful. But here's the real kicker. All this caution might be holding women's sports back. Imagine if Nike just went for it, released Clark's shoe, and it sold out instantly. That could open the floodgates for more signature shoes, more endorsements, and more attention for the WNBA as a whole. It's not just about shoes anymore. This is about the future of women's sports marketing. Nike's decision could change the game for every female athlete out there. Will they play it safe or take a risk? Either way, the impact is going to be huge. Let's talk about why only 5 WNBA players have signature shoes. 5 in the entire league. That's less than the starting lineup of a single team. How is this possible in 2024? It's like women's basketball is stuck in the Stone Age when it comes to footwear. But here's where things get exciting. Clark's shoe could change everything. Think about it, we're not just talking about another unisex model with a woman's name slapped on it. No, this could be a game changer. Imagine a basketball shoe actually designed for a woman's foot. It's not just about looking good, it's about playing better. You know what's crazy? Most women's basketball shoes are just smaller versions of men's shoes. But women's feet aren't just scaled down men's feet, they're shaped differently. So why are we expecting women to play their best in shoes that weren't made for them? This is where Clark's shoe could really shake things up. If Nike gets this right, they could set a whole new standard for women's basketball footwear. We're talking about shoes that fit better, feel better, and maybe even help prevent injuries. It's not just about Clark anymore. This could benefit every woman on the court. And let's be real, the demand is there. When Clark got drafted, her jersey sold out instantly. People are hungry for Clark merch. If her shoe takes off, it could open the floodgates for more signature shoes in the WNBA. We might finally see a market that actually caters to women basketball players. But it's not just about selling shoes. This is bigger than that. Clark's signature shoe could become a symbol of growth in women's basketball. It's like saying, hey, we see you, we value you, and we're going to make products specifically for you. That's huge for a sport that's often been treated like an afterthought. Think about the impact this could have on young girls playing basketball. Suddenly, they're not just dreaming of playing in the WNBA, they're dreaming of having their own signature shoe one day. It's about representation, inspiration, and showing that women's basketball is a serious market. And here's where it gets really interesting. If Clark's shoe is a hit, it could change how sports brands approach women's products across the board. We might see more investment in women's sports gear, more research into what female athletes actually need, and maybe even more signature deals for WNBA players. Just when you thought Clark's signature shoe was all good news, drama hits. Some WNBA stars are calling foul on Nike's decision. But here's the real kicker. This controversy goes way beyond just sneakers. You know how everyone's been hyped about Caitlin Clark's massive Nike deal? Well, not everyone's cheering. Some folks in the WNBA world are pretty upset, and it's not just about shoes anymore. Here's the deal. A lot of people are wondering why Clark, a rookie who hasn't even played a single WNBA game yet, is getting all this attention. Meanwhile, there are established stars in the league who've been grinding for years without a signature shoe. It's like showing up to a party and the new kid gets the VIP treatment while the regulars are left standing in line. And you know who's at the center of this debate? Aja Wilson. She's a two-time WNBA MVP, an absolute beast on the court, and guess what? No signature shoe. Can you believe it? Her coach, Becky Hammon, even came out and said, Aja Wilson deserves a signature shoe. That's how big this is getting. But it gets even more complicated. People are starting to notice something about the WNBA players who do have signature shoes. They're all white. Yeah, you heard that right. In a league where most of the players are black, this is raising some serious questions about representation and who gets these big endorsement deals. Now, Clark supporters are saying, hey, she's insanely popular. Her jersey sold out in like 2 seconds. Of course, Nike wants to capitalize on that, and they've got a point. Clark's marketability is off the charts. But on the other side, people are arguing that experience and achievements in the league should count for something too. This whole situation is forcing the sports world to take a hard look at how they value and promote athletes, especially in women's sports. It's not just about who's the most popular anymore. It's about fairness, representation, and what message these decisions send to young players coming up. And you know what? This debate could end up being a good thing for women's basketball. It's got people talking, it's shining a light on some issues that have been in the shadows, and it might just push brands to invest more in a wider range of WNBA stars. All right, let's recap this whole Caitlin Clark shoe drama. We've got a rookie superstar, Nike playing it safe, and a potential game changer for women's basketball shoes. But it's not all smooth sailing. There's some serious controversy brewing. Here's the thing. This isn't just about Clark or her shoe. It's way bigger than that. We're talking about the future of women's sports marketing. Nike's moves here could set the tone for how brands handle rising stars in women's sports, but the big question is, will Clark's shoe live up to all this hype when it finally drops? Will it change the game for women's basketball? Or is this all just a lot of noise over nothing? I guess we'll have to wait and see, but one thing's for sure, the whole sports world is watching.